Good evening. I don't watch a lot of television. I don't even have cable. I don't have any interest in it. I mean, I'm about to, I guess, do a little better this year, make $10,000 more this year. Just got out of training, you know, and I'm thinking it's gonna get a lot better for me. But I don't have interest in TV. That's something that has not changed about me. A friend of mine once let me use his, I forgot what you call it, Netflix or whatever. If he does, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. I'm not going to bring it up again. I watch a lot of documentaries. A lot of documentaries. They got SoundCloud. There's a lot of socialist stuff on there. I listen to Audible. I haven't listened to that in a long time. And that's just due to the fact that I don't want to bring this with me and then something happen to it. I've been in training. So, now I'll be on my own. I can bring more stuff, carry more bags. You don't want to be having a bunch of bags sharing a truck with another man. Because you start taking up space. I wouldn't mind taking 2 or 3 bags. It's just you can't, Audible is Audible books. And a lot of them, people putting the stuff on YouTube now. So there's no point in buying books. And you get tokens and stuff. So I don't buy books. Yeah. Put it on a wish list. When my tokens, run up, I just go buy a book. On Malcolm X and people like that, just buy the book. For some reason I'm watching Hitler's Warriors. And it's an old documentary. It came out like 10 years ago. And they got Udad, and they got Rommel, and they got Guderian, and they got the Air Force guy, Luftwaffe guy, Goring, and I've always been interested in World War II. Always. Since I was younger, I've always been interested in World War II for some reason. And I guess I'm seeing a comparison. There's a lot of questions I had about how Hitler was able to wage war, how Hitler was able to get people to kill people just like them. How Hitler was able to do the atrocities he did, and how he got people to go along with it. And I realize now that wasn't that hard. From the Border Patrol, messages we're seeing, to the thing we see cops seeing, to white folks calling police on black people, I realized that this is, this is white supremacy. That's what you're dealing with. And I think that America is showing you now that we were never any better than Nazis. I think America had more opportunities, different opportunities with a different story. But America was never better than Nazis. America was never better than those people at all. And I talked to a lot of conservatives. I talked to a conservative. I was getting out of training Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday. And, the guy was talking about, I guess, one thing about conservatives I noticed on the road is that their humor is always about someone getting hurt. Like, what they find humorous is someone getting harmed. It's someone losing their job. It's always that. Always. It's always in some way, shape, or form somebody's getting hurt. Someone's getting killed. Someone's getting fired. We had here I am, I'm using their language. They had a driver flip a truck over. Well, he hit somebody who was parked in the middle of the road. He hit him, kept his job. It's crazy because the dude you got out of training like last week, literally. And, I think, he didn't get hurt or nothing. I didn't even know he got out of training. Anyway, he was joking. Everybody he met, all these rednecks he was talking to, all these rednecks, he was joking about it. Resting in the graveyard. I said, I didn't find that funny. I think that's terrifying for him and for the people he hurt. I guess they were drunk. Even though Eagle isn't going to fire him, supposedly, I still, I feel for that guy because I had an accident in ice. I had no control. There was no control. I'm not going to do different other than go slower. And I was having nightmares for the rest of the week about that. It was at least 3 nights where I'm drifting into the truck and I can't swerve away in the dream. And I hit it in the dream. And in real life, I tapped him. His back bumper was bent a little bit. His back bumper was probably bent like, I don't know, a couple inches in. You wouldn't be able to tell. If you've seen trailers bumpers bent like that before and didn't even think about it. Worse. And in a dream, I couldn't swerve away from him. I hit him and woke up. This guy hit a car and the whole truck tore up. So, but, rednecks, like I told you, they like that. There's a joy in destructiveness. Just for the sake of being there. I'm not talking about someone messes with you, picks a fight with you, whoop their ass. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about defending yourself. I'm talking about just in people's destruction and people's loss. That's funny. I don't get it. I don't get it. And somebody knows I've heard a lot of conservatives talk about is that the war in Iraq was wrong because we should have let the troops just go in. There should have been no rules of engagement. Every time I hear it, it's a lot of conservative white men have told me that. A lot. It's a lot of conservative white men have said that to me. A lot of them, And it's kind of terrifying to me because my thought is always, what do you mean? What should they have done? What was not done? Because I was interested in the war in Iraq in the beginning, and then I just, one thing about me is, over time, I have just been led to believe that my opinion doesn't mean shit. That America is going to go down this path of nation building or whatever they call it. They're going to go down this path of destruction. There's nothing we can do about it. People protested the Iraq war. People are protesting the Venezuelan thing. People are protesting all over. Doesn't mean that. The American government's going to do what they want to do, period. Even when it comes down to the Europeans protesting. They're like, shit, fuck it. We're going to still do it. Because we America. And that's why I make the point to you, America ain't learned nothing from the war in Iraq. Not a blasted thing. Not a blasted thing. I say it all the time. Nothing's been learned. After almost 20 years of war, nothing is learned. Nothing is learned. You're gonna get a whole lot more troops come home fucked up, broken homes. You're gonna have more. You're gonna have a bunch of mass shooters in the works. I guess they just look at it like it's another war, but I don't get that, man. Haven't you seen the destruction now? And that's why when conservatives talk about welfare, I can't even listen to that. And so I can't even, to me, I laugh at that shit because it's like you want austerity. You want people to not be able to use food stamps, not be able to use any of this stuff. Take all that away from them and spend money on war. Like Robert Kennedy said, you drop the bomb and call it a peace. You want to do that, or you want to not talk about that. This trillions and trillions of dollars wasted. You don't want to talk about that. So, when conservatives start talking about these issues, the real issues, then I'll listen. But until then, I'm not listening. In fact, I'm laughing because it's so crazy. It's so inane that they're even talking about going to war with Iran. And you talk to these guys about stuff, and it's like, well, we just bomb Iran, just nuke it. And I'm just like, do you know what that means? Do you think Russia's going to sit there and let you start nuking? Well, they'll back down. Wait. If you start shooting a gun, if you come up in here, you start killing people, how do I know you're not coming up here to get me next? You've already killed. You've already shown your willingness to kill, right? That's already been shown. This isn't like you just pointing guns, you carrying a gun. No, you've already pulled it, drawn it on somebody. How do I now know you don't wish to kill me? I'm gonna use my self-defense, especially when it comes to something like nukes or rifles or something, because them things don't stop. Them things can do a lot of damage to folks, even by accident. And the Russians, they know this. They're not going to sit here and let you play with them. And if you're joking about that, you're a damn fool. You know, a damn fool. Got to be a damn fool and think you can go to war with Russia. You know what I mean? You're a damn fool for that. But you know, I was talking to a dude that was testing me about it, and he's the one that brought it up. and I'm like, you do realize there was like 30-something million people in Iraq. Iran's got more than double that. And this time, you won't have allies. You know what I mean? See, one thing about Bush, the coalition of the willing, whatever you call that shit, you had the British, the Germans, the Japanese, you had some people in Africa, I think. You had, what else you had? I don't think the Japanese, it was like building schools. They weren't actively fighting. You had the Canadians. I think you had the Danish. You had a lot of European. You had a lot of people involved in Iraqi freedom. What the fuck you call it? I want to call it oil. You had a lot of people involved. A lot of people involved in that. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. And the Europeans are really showing you that if America does this, if America launches another war, if they launch missile strikes, if they do whatever in Iran, they're not going to back America up. Mm-hmm. That's my biggest question. Ain't that crazy? I'm an American, born and raised. And people say things about Trump. Like I got people I follow about Trump. Sometimes I can't even listen to this shit. I really can't. I'm just like, okay. You know, I'll catch you later on. I find myself really more concerned. What will the Europeans do? Whether it's the deal they got to pay Iran, keep them in the deal, or whether it is will they support an American-led invasion into Iran. I'm always thinking that. In every case, what will the Europeans do? You know, you already seen this thing that came out today with Syria. The Germans are not going to send their troops into Syria. And they're going to say it's because there's no, the UN's not involved. They're going to say that. But we know what it is. Anybody paying attention to this is about a lack of trust and a lack of faith in President Donald Trump. That's what it comes down to. At the end of the day, we don't trust you and we don't respect you. We think you're a nut. And so we're not going to risk our soldiers in anything that you're doing. Whether now Syria is an isolated thing. We're not, that's a side, that's something different. But we're not going to put our troops in some kind of proxy sandbox to make you happy. To me, Trump signifies the end of NATO. You know, I've talked many times, but well, I haven't. I'm gonna do a video one day, but I'll talk a little bit now about it. If Trump gets another 4 years, we have to really sit down and think about that, what that means. Because if you get another 4 years of Trump, there'll be no more democracy. You get another 4 years of Trump, there's not gonna be another democracy. There won't be no more democracy. Period. That's what they want. Yeah, that's it. That is it for that. if that may happen. It's not inconceivable. That could totally happen. So I think that's what Trump wants to do. And I'm talking about a lack of confidence. I'm talking about, like you have bands that break up, been around 20 years break. That's what I'm talking about. Confidence. People don't get sick or die or get hooked on drugs. They're like, I don't want to do this no more with you. I don't have the same. I think that my tastes have changed. I think I can do better on my own. A lot of artists. Look at Outkast. Great. They came back together. Great artists. Andre 3000 and Big Boy. Great artists. I listen to today. They differ. They change on certain things. That happens. And that really makes me have joy, you know, because I feel like we're living in Nazi Germany now. And when I hear these conservatives talk about, well, yeah, the Iraq war was a mistake, we should let our troops just go unhindered, that bothers me. Because to me, they're tacitly suggesting war crimes. Because from what I heard when they went into Baghdad in the beginning, no. You know, no. This guy was talking about his sons over there, and he's like, during when Obama was president, they had to like watch and see who was shooting at them and ensure friend from. But I'm just like, that's what they're supposed to do. That's in the book. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to killing kids and all that. That bothers me that they don't have any regard. That's why the world hates America. It's their attitude. It's just what. It's not that we have freedom and they're angry because we. That's bullshit, man. That's all damn ideological bullshit. That's all it is. They don't hate us for our freedom. They hate us because we run around as world police. We commit atrocities and we don't even think about how these things affect the rest of the world. We don't even care. They don't even care. That's why the world hates us. That's why the world hates you. You know, you run around here by force of will. You flout international law. You're monsters. You're monsters. Period. So that's weird. Ain't that weird? I'm an American. I mean, I already listened to, you know, a lot of European news, Guardian and DW. I watch a lot of DW. You know, I watch a lot of European news and Russian news, and I've lost all faith in America. I've lost all faith in America. I listened to a guy on Socialist Rifle Association, whatever, and they were talking about this, that people don't revolt because there's trust in the institutions. I've lost all trust in institutions. All trust. I've lost all trust whatsoever. It's gone for me. That's gone. I can tell you that confidence, whatever you want to call it, that's gone, man. That's gone, buddy. It don't exist for me. No faith whatsoever. You know, it's honestly a little embarrassing to me. You know, it's honestly a little embarrassing to me to call myself an American. You know, I'm the guy. If I went over there overseas, I wouldn't have nothing that had a flag on it. I've got one shirt. I had to correct myself. I got one shirt. I said a while back, I got no American clothes that I bought for like a hell of a deal. It's like got the American soccer stuff. I like it because it's black and green. I like the color. If I could take that American passport, I would in a heartbeat. But I can't. Hopefully one day I can alter it or something. I'll do it at home. You know, I'll do it at home in a heartbeat. I simply wish to I'm recognized as American. I would change my nationality in a second. I have a deep embarrassment for what America's done to the world. And I have a deep embarrassment with the realization that nothing has changed, and people have not changed. People are not frustrated with the wars. People have become tacitly accepting of it, but the rest of the world is still suffering underneath the oppressor's heel. The rest of the world is still, you know what I mean? Like I put on Facebook sometimes, the picture says Israel is still killing children. Enjoy your weekend. Yeah, I'm not joking. I'm not joking whatsoever. I'm not joking whatsoever, not even a little bit. That's for real, man. I have a deep embarrassment that comes up in America. Deep embarrassment. You know, I'm living and working around monsters. And I say that because they're felicitating monstrous things to take place. They're tacitly accepting, and they are by their silence legitimizing it. This is wrong. This is wrong. I don't think America has a more high ground. And the dude, he actually agreed with me. I'm just like, damn. Like, I've never had a conservative, like, really agree at what he was saying, but he doesn't care. You know, they don't even care. I don't know how much he might have been joking, but they don't even care that Trump's a monster. And they don't even care. They don't even care. I mean, that just that bothers me. That your president is threatening to wage something, a war that may lead to nuclear conflict, and you don't even care. That bothers me. As a man, inside myself. That bothers me. That's not okay. You know, that really bothers me, but it's what it is. Trump has no heart, has no soul. Some folks say he has no mind. But I think that Trump, I talk about this every day, he represents America in this past decade. This past almost 2 decades of warmongering. You know, I think that if Trump, I said it before, Trump could have done everything he wants to do. He could have been a racist and all that if he played his cards right. Got to my turn there. I love reading his Twitter. Please don't take his Twitter away. Please don't. I love it. That shit is hilarious. Please don't call it the Red Sox. SOCK. I'm not even going into all of it. This shit's funny, man. It's just funny shit. You know, I'm not going to go into that right now. But Trump is an idiot, man. In every way, shape, or form, he's an idiot. Complete idiot. He attacks people who are elected leaders. He makes a bunch of snarky, nasty, weaselly type jokes. He's a joke, man. He's got a bunch of crooks around. He's a joke. In terms of all the guys that got indicted, they were doing that stuff without Trump. You're right. And what I'm saying is Trump knew it. And I'm saying that birds of a feather flock together. Oh, Obama. I'm like, man, come on, bro. Obama been out of office, what, 2-3 years, man? He got elected, but 2008, it's 2019. All you got on him is a birth certificate, and possibly he may have been a homosexual. Maybe he might have been a homosexual. That's all you got. Let me tell you what I got on Trump. Been divorced, been bankrupted like 17 fucking times. Married 3 times. Cheated on every woman. Got kids from 3 different women. Talking about grabbing them by the pussy. Trump is a nigga. And it's funny to me that every stereotype they made about Obama becoming president, that's what Trump has been. Every stereotype. And it also, you know, I say this all the time that if white supremacy is just going to destroy everything Obama created, what's the point of us striving? What's the point of going to Columbia Law School? What's the point of going to UCLA, Berkeley? What's the point of Harvard and Yale and scratching away for 4 years, 8 years, scratching 8 years of your life away, trying to, you know, pass your tests and just barely making it by and getting out with $50,000 of student loans? What's the point? What's the point of all that? And then you get out here and crackers tell you, sneering at you and all this racist shit. What's the point, man? Really? Maybe I'm just jaded, and I'll accept that. But Obama shows you that when it's time, when a black man makes it and succeeds, and holds himself to a higher standard of living, holds himself to a higher standard, and he makes it the white man system, then it's time for the white man to change the rules. That's the lesson of Obama for me. You're not going to make it the white man's system. You're not. Unless it's doing something he wants you to do. You're not. There will be no more Black Wall Streets. That's not coming back. I look on YouTube, there's people and they're talking about it, there's pages about it. Not going into that. Because it's a pipe dream. There is no black community. It doesn't exist. We hate each other out here. We hate each other. White folks, they tell you this is not a lie. We don't have any community, black people. Unless you're talking about we're united through poverty. Okay, I guess I'll give you that. You know, a bunch of us are down. A bunch of us are struggling to make it, scraping away. Okay, is that really a community though? I don't think so. That's like saying, if you're in prison, you're in a community where you're united against the guards. I guess you are. I mean, I guess you could say that. That's not how I see it. You know, you're incarcerated. You can't make moves. That's the point. You can't go fuck a woman. You can't go out here and drive a car. I don't care if you're in a fucking level 1, but you're incarcerated. Period. You can't. Well, I'm gonna go to Europe. You can't do that. You're away from your freedom. But black people don't have a community. And what's more, black people don't count. I said it before, black people don't count. One time, I tell black folks all the time, we don't count. Only time black man matters is when it's time to count a vote, pay your taxes, or fight in their wars. That's it. You don't count. And if you don't realize that, you ain't lived long enough. You ain't lived long enough. Black people don't count. And I'm starting to believe we never did. Obama served to help take down African leaders. I will never forget. Maybe some black people want to forget this and have to go along, and you know, there's a book written, the East Coast or whatever, talking about 8 years we ruled. What do we rule again? What did Obama rule again? Because last time I checked, every time I turn around, white supremacy is trying to destroy everything Obama tried to do. So what did Obama create again for black people? Specifically, nothing. See what he did do, he helped take down the African leader that was trying to come up with a pan-African currency to bring his people up. I can tell you that. And guess what? Your black president served to destroy him. Congratulations. That's what Obama did. Are you proud of that, black people? Are you proud of that, black man? What did Obama do for you? Huh? What did he do for you? Nothing. And you gave him Nobel Peace Prize. For what? For Syria? For Libya? You know, not closing down Guantanamo Bay, going after the press? That's what you like about him, black man? You got nothing. Black people reach for the brass ring. Like Earl Ford said it. That's what you got with Obama. Black people reached up and grabbed the brass ring, I guess, to find out what that'd be like. Getting benefit black people, specifically, in any way. And one thing I say often, people think I'm being racial all the time. And I guess it's just because, to me, if you're a black person and you really believe that the scales are not tipped for the Caucasian, that you're not always underneath, the cops aren't always watching, if you really believe that, I think that's dangerous. It's kind of like if the forecast is going to be 200 degrees, 100 and something degrees today, and you go out the door with no water, without drinking water, without being hydrated. That's dumb, man. Or if you know it's going to be 20 degrees outside, you go outside without a jacket. That's dangerous, man. That's dangerous. You know what I mean? Driving a car with no gas in it out in the middle of the desert. That's dangerous, man. You have to think. You have to take precautions in this life. You can't just live, other folks do. You can't just live without thinking about what will I do if this happens. You can't do that. That's not what men do or what adults do. Adults take precautions. You gotta live, but you gotta be smart. And when you don't take that into consideration, what the oppressor's doing, you're putting yourself in danger. You're making yourself the low fruit, low peaches on the peach tree. You know how you had the low hanging fruit and the kids just snatch it off? That's what you become. Yeah, I'm still fruit, but you gotta get a ladder to get to me. You gotta get you a ladder, have a man hold the ladder for you at the bottom. That bitch gonna be rickety. You gotta do all that to get to me. That's what I wanna do. I wanna be that fruit on the very top. Yeah. Ripen all the way to maturation before he gets picked. Hell yeah. You know, it's gonna be hard to pick, but I don't think Obama. It's kind of like taking out a Confederate flag. I get it. I'll never oppose black people to want to do that, but it's just that. What's the point? It's like being mad at Trump. Are you just mad at him because of what he represents? Are you just mad at the Confederate flag because of what it represents? Or are you angry that with Trump, the future has been canceled? Or is that why you're angry? That's why I'm angry. Because to me, Trump signified the future's been canceled. You know what I mean? There was a thing on Twitter about that we were promised, flying ships and all that stuff, and we're going to be promised climate change. We're going to climate change. No one's even talking about climate change. You don't even hear anybody talking about it. This is serious, man. No one's even talking about it. And that bothers me. It really does. That bothers me very much so. And we get these stronger storms and all that. And I guess my thing with Trump, the reason why I done this video, these conservatives that say such nasty, vicious, vitriolic things, is that to me, these things signify the downfall of America. Because you're telling me that you have now become, and you are not advocating for the very same things we've gone to war against, supposedly, all these years. You've become a despot. You've been a person that supports despot leaders. I think that we always thought that was something that happened in Haiti or Romania or, places like that where you had these dictators that go and kill 200 people, and I think the fury has come home. The war has come home, All of us know white people. They got 20 rifles, 8 rifles. All of us do. If you're living in the South, most black people probably could tell you that if you live in the South, white people, you work white people, you can give me a story about a Caucasian that's got a bunch of guns, night vision goggles, and stuff like that. Just these are people who love war, and they love destruction. It's in their nature. They love it. No reason they want that. I'm beginning to see myself as a socialist. This lady made a good point on there tonight. She was talking about how if socialists, if they think that Trump is a fascist and a tyrant and all this, why would you be, let me go a little further. Think Trump's a tyrant and a fascist and all that. You see his fascists walking around on the border with rifles and guns and all these things like that. But yet you want to disarm us? When guns may be the only protection you have. We see the police are going along with it. When they had to defend the right, unite the right, my fault. In Washington D.C., remember they said the light rail, the train, they weren't going to transport those guys, and the police escorted them right up on the train, and took them there, took those 20 guys out there and brought them back. Sure enough, did. So, and now we're hearing about Portland police communicating with Patriot Prayer, other white supremacist groups. So what I'm saying is, you see what this is. They're showing you where they stand, and they're showing you with who they put their trust in. It's white supremacy. That's what law enforcement, see, white folks don't get, that's what law enforcement always was. A protection arm for white supremacy. You might get some black cops, you might get a black police chief. That isn't the point. That's status quo. That's what law enforcement is based upon. Period. It always was. It may always be. Black people know this. Black people that have eyes to see and ears to hear, we know this. We've been facing this shit for hundreds of years. The slave patrols. We've been facing this shit for so long. Isn't nothing new? Rousting people and chasing people who have done no wrong and shooting them in the back. This is what law enforcement's been doing. Nothing new here. Jumping on, there was one in Baltimore I watched today. I shouldn't laugh about it. This guy actually was jumping on a guy. The other guy was like, "Hey, y'all got him on the ground is wet." And they grabbed him and took him on the ground. He's walking away. They slammed him and all. And the dude's like, what arrested me for? Because you can't act right. And it's like, that's a new law, ain't it? That's a new law they just came up with for them, what you call that shit? Interfering or something? He's not interfering. Because on the video it shows that he was already walking away. You can't get nobody for interfering when all you did was say something, walk away. Interfering is me interfering with the arrest, me putting my hands on you, me trying to keep you from putting the cuffs on, from putting them in the car, interfering with it. Somebody standing back 10 feet and saying, hey man, and he didn't even cuss the cops, which would be okay. He didn't even cuss the cops. It wasn't even like his intention was to do anything. So now you have cops that are outwardly just blatantly showing you that they're Barney Fife's grandchildren. You know what I mean? We had a cop I looked at today that they've been investigating them for locking people up and planting drugs on them. They found drugs in the car just for the purpose of planting drugs and stuff on them. This is the reality we live in America. Black people know this. Black people that have a brain in their head, and eyes see and ears hear, we know this shit. There's a lot of black folks caught up into sports and propaganda. I realize now, like my trainer, what's his name? He was like, oh, he thinks only people getting beat up or people who are doing something wrong. I realize now to think the way he does, you really have to turn on. And he never knows what I'm talking about. He doesn't follow any news. And I realize that to think the way he does, it's kind of like black folks in the military. You have to not follow anything. You do. You really do. It's kind of like somebody told me one time, they were like, don't think too much. That's what I'm saying. You have to be like that to not care. And what makes it so bad is I don't have cable. I don't have cable in here, guys. I don't have cable. I don't watch American news, none of it. I still know more than these people do. These folks have cable and things like that and don't know half what I'm talking about half the time. When you talk about sports, though, oh, you see the basketball game? Yeah, see the game? While your people are getting shot down in the streets and murdered, roughed up and beaten and hit with cars and shit, and cops get away with it. Cops shoot a man for going for his ID and they get the job back. They try to get him on another department. Shooting a man, 14, 16 times, is walking away from the police. He's on the ground, cops still shooting. You don't know about that, do you? You don't know about that. You're too busy watching basketball. Baltimore Gun Trace Task Force shooting black men, openly saying, don't make me chase you or I'm going to shoot you. They shoot the man, plant toy guns on him. All those cops got convicted. All of them got convicted. You think he knows about that? No, he's too busy watching basketball. So those black people, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. You're not probably going to understand what I'm talking about. And you probably won't even care. That's great. That's why I say to you, black people have no community. We don't. There's no black community. You've got black people that are engaged in socialist stuff, that are awake and all that. But I wouldn't even say half of the black community even paying attention. You know, I just wouldn't. It's sad to say it, but it's true. My friends I have, they don't really care. They don't. They're too busy watching basketball. And like I think that's something that was put inside of us, that the world was so harsh and things were so bad to where it's like we're just going to follow what we know, which is physical exhibitionism, basketball, football, things that we're good at, because the white man has made a society in which we have no place. And even when we have a place, every chance, every corner, every avenue he would get, he's biting. He's biting at us. He's barking at us, or he's biting at us. So it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit here like this guy I seen at the bus station. I'm just gonna sit here and talk about basketball for 4 hours and talk about the roster of 1978 Lakers to some guy I don't even know. That's black people. You know what I mean? You know what I think about it? It's almost like how back in the 80s you had the Dungeons and Dragons shit. And you had those nerdy guys that just want to sit in there in my own basement and play Dungeons and Dragons. And some of them is exaggerated. Some of them guys are almost 30 years old still playing Dungeons and Dragons in my own basement. That's how I see black people who talk about nothing but basketball, nothing but football. That's how I see them. You know what I mean? It's not the same because those white kids are weird and nerdy and have no friends, have no girls or whatever. That's creepy. You know, that's creepy shit. Playing with magic and stuff. It's not the same, but it's still the same distraction. White people, I get it, because white people don't necessarily have a common enemy. They don't. They're no enemy. Until recently, they weren't getting thrown around in police and no, until recently. See, unlike people around me, I don't think that having morals means you can turn your head away from when you see injustice. I think that having morals means demanding justice. And I think that in positions of power, you must constantly seek out wrongdoing and be engaged. This stuff they put in black people to just get a job and not care and all that, this is what I mean. My trainer, Kenneth or whatever, this is what I mean when I talk about integration being dangerous, because you wind up, marrying a white girl and just tuning out. And you don't care about nothing. You don't pay attention to nothing. You don't care about nothing. You don't see anything going on. You're not going to see anything going on. You don't want to see anything going on. You just want to go home and watch basketball, maybe have a few beers on the weekend. That's it. But the whole world's going to shit around you. I've said it before, I'm embarrassed to call myself an American. I really am. I'm deeply embarrassed. And it's not to where I want to go burn a flag. It's to where I don't even want a flag to touch me. I was at DMV. I didn't even want to stand next to the flag. I didn't even want it to touch me. That's how I feel. It's not like I want to burn the flag. It's not like I want to do anything harmful to anybody with the flag. It's just I don't have any pride when I see the American flag. None at all. I have no pride in that. To me, it's almost like a deep embarrassment I have to call myself an American. I really do. So, peace out.